Good morning and welcome back to day 3 here at the Australian Ultimate Championships Div 2 in Canberra. I am Hannah Pendlebury, joined on the stream this morning by the lovely Christina Obermeyer. Christina, how are you feeling for this women's semi-final action?
I'm really excited for it, although I have to say that's quite early morning. 1 a.m. for me out of Vienna. But I've enjoyed covering some games yesterday and I'm really excited for this one now. What about you?
Yeah, I'm thrilled. Like you say, we're also in the morning, you in 1 a.m, myself in GMT time, midnight for me in the UK, but we're ecstatic to be able to watch some live Ultimate here, bringing you instead action from the women's semi-finals, Zig Theory versus Underground from Canberra there that you've got in the black shirts. Zig Theory over from Adelaide will be playing in blue. So Underground having surprised a little bit to the upside here, Christina. They were seed 4 in Pool B initially with a 5-1 record here for the 6 games they played, sorry. Whereas Zig have played only 5, advancing straight into semis.
Exactly, and they swooshed everyone else, winning 3 games by point cap of 15 and only 2 games where they managed to score 12 points as well. So pretty dominant. So I'm really excited to see what Underground can do against them.
An immediate layout to try and save that disc there. Get us nice and fired up. Like you say, Zig have had an easier time of it. Their points difference shows it all, plus 54 at the moment. Good, great offense, 69 points having been scored, but their defense has been working really well. Only 15 points in total for the whole tournament posted against the blue-shirted athletes. Whereas Underground a little bit different, plus 24, 61 goals for and 37 against. So, you see Underground playing a little bit of a poachy zoney look, sagging off the handler set. But Zig making nice work of it, finding the gaps. Just that execution error on their first attempt at this offensive point. To the tall, talismanic figure of the in the centre of the field there, number 12, Dunmore. We saw her, she's one of the captains of this side in an earlier game this tournament on the stream, being very dominant both sides of the disc. And again, a miscue there from Zig. Maybe they didn't have their Weetabix this morning, Christina.
Yeah, they're still trying to get into the game a bit, probably. They'll clean up those mistakes a little later on. But second attempt there for Underground, starting with a huck.
Dunwell there swooping in to catch the D, throws a big blom immediately outside the pitch. The lefty throwing a flick errantly.
Just a little shaky in the beginning. And that's unfortunate that she threw it out of bounds so early. So Underground has a short field red zone opportunity there to get first break on that early start of the game.
I'll tell you what, I am, Christina, excited to see Les win today, and that's first blood to Underground with an offensive hold.
There was a beautiful isolation, and you've already mentioned it. The wind looks far less intense today at the beginning. Let's not jinx it. Let's hope it stays that way, but you can see beautiful puts on both sides. Underground just using that to their advantage and getting a break to start that game. It's a really good start, quite ideal actually.
Yes, indeed. You realised my error there. Underground getting first blood, and as you say, indeed a break. I'm loving these shirts they've got going. The Adelaide side, Canberra inside. Looking at my notes wrong. They really remind me, being British, obviously. I guess they are based upon the Underground sign that we have over here. Very fetching. Another look at that goal there, just an absolute tussle up that sideline.
Beautiful positioning there, pushing the defense far into the open side and then going for that a round shot.
So Miriam Downey there on the pole, the number 22 for Underground, nicknamed Miz. Playing her first Worlds was apparently her highlight of her career, which is pretty good. But some brand new players also gracing us on the field in this Division 2 play. So Zig with the disc looking to get their first point on the board. And again, this zony look from the Canberra side. Good crashing, still counts, trying to get high, gonna need to use the release valve across the field and a nice scoop from the knees. Zig patiently looking around. Here the coaches on the sideline saying to strike up through. Great attack! Just inches over the hands of the defender. Zig getting away with a little bit there. And good flow now. Oh, just these Underground players are just inches away from getting the blocks. On the goal line now, Hannah Crockett swings around. Lots of room, continuation just about there, but doesn't manage to run through that one. Blazing is the black shirt of Kirti Betapura. Zig trying to get it back with the run through of their own, but not quite. This great flow here from Underground going up that line. Can they continue it all the way? There's the option, doesn't like it. Gonna look for a reset now. Up the line it goes. Then snaffled away as if by magic. Zig on the run. Oh, but nightmare.
A bit of a miscommunication, maybe the player wanting a bit of a deeper disc, but the thrower just couldn't quite.
The captain rips a big backhand, has plenty of bodies underneath it, but it's just going to be pushed gently out the near side. Difficult to get the outside in on those high release backhands, Christina.
Yeah, we've seen them work really well yesterday, but I guess with a bit less wind, you can put more angle on it to maybe be a little more precise with your throws. But I think they're gonna clean that up during that game.
Definitely, a roll curve backhand's difficult to achieve. What an attack there! Did she manage to grab it or not? Goes to ground.
Great heads-up play.
I'm loving the fight already in this game. Both sides are putting their bodies all over this grass. I have heard it's quite plushy conditions though for layouts down under today.
Yeah, everyone fighting for all the discs, and I don't know if I can voice an opinion because I don't really see it that well, but I think the disc looks up to me, as far as I can tell, of course.
It's difficult from up here on the pole cam for us to get a great look, but bringing you coverage nonetheless, and it's always great to have pole cam views for studying footage later. I'm sure both these teams are watching this back. Oh, and a little smack down there. Would have been nice to see perhaps catch the D, but Nick Downey putting it into play. Scoop, lay, and some very fetching pink socks. Neil puts it through. Rogers looking at the options. Ooh, jinky reset in front. Nice big backhand again. Can she lay it? Oh, bid doesn't come, but it might have been a bit too close anyway.
We're seeing that left side, and on the end zone is a bit of a hard spot to throw to. Seen a couple of shots not connect yet.
They're going a little bit too out in front. Obviously, it's good to lead your receiver, but hopefully Underground can dial those in correctly. As they put their zone back on to try and make Zig throw lots and lots of passes. Good attack from the deeper cutter there, just commanding the play. Little pop. This round has the continuations through the middle. Oh, and a little, just a delicate hand block there from the number 21, Jessica Lowry. And Downey will get us back into play. Is it going to be another high release backhand? Looking for the flick. It is indeed another high release backhand. It was being chased down by Zig. Just as Connor Ramett loses her feet a little bit. So Zig again trying to close out this point. Nice run down snag, just fingertips reeling that one in. Big swing around, making this cut work really hard. Oh, and just a redemption there, sails over the fingers of Downey. Zig really chasing it down here against what we can only assume is a teeny bit of wind, but not as much as yesterday. And then just an errant throw getting too zesty, trying to hit Grace Andrews and denied by Underground, but they're going to make an error of their own. Mary not able to grasp that one. Swinging around, Andrews finds a nice one up there, but nearly redeemed by the teammates, just a little bit too zesty.
Yeah, both teams getting a bit too excited right now. They just too quickly throwing the disc into spaces, as we can see that once again just out of the reach of the receiver, and another opportunity for Sig to get their first goal.
Yeah, the president of the ANU Ultimate Club overthrows and gives Zig this opportunity. Nice inside shot. Can it be scooped up? Oh, just a little bit too much contact with the ground there. And again, Miz picks up. Rips a huge backhand. Can it be run down by her own team this time? Yes, it can indeed. All the space to throw it as far as she likes for that one. And another big backhand, but straight in the face of Zig. Ouch!
All the space, and then manages to hit a Zig defender. But now Zig has to work it all the way down the field again.
Well, they did not quite manage to do that. Short field now for Underground. See if they can punch the second one in. It's already quite the battle this game. These two teams fighting, of course, as we already mentioned, for a place in today's final. Final and glory. And backhand, well placed this time, and just about reaches out in front. Very nice goal for Kate Bailey.
2-0 Underground. For Underground, just looking a bit cleaner at points. Although Sig had a lot of great shots and connections there, and I think they just didn't get that good of a start into the game, especially on offense. But we've seen their defense work really hard, and I think, yeah, after those 2 points, you've learned a lot already and can adjust. And I think a team like Zig does that really well, seeing that they're pretty dominant, have been pretty dominant over the weekend. So yeah, I think we'll see a comeback now. What do you think, Hannah?
Well, it's still really early stages. Obviously, a 2-point deficit is by no means insurmountable, especially in the state with many minutes left to expire on this game. I think that the difference at the moment is got to be in underground spacing there and their rhythm. They've really kind of got the right connections going. They're slightly overshooting on their throws, but they're putting them out in front. Whereas the difference maker for Zig in that point seemed to be that they were just perhaps a little bit too hasty. They were putting together some nice strings, but then it was kind of, if someone was off balance and being thrown to, or maybe a little bit behind, or a little bit kind of too close to the defenders. Both of these sides are really feisty when they're trying to get the disc back. So hopefully we can see Zig play a little bit smoother and choose some slightly better options. And Evan Lim, one of the other captains for the underground side with the pull, as Zig try and put their first point on the board. Again, underground choosing not to put too much pressure on the handler set. Oh, nearly a miscue, but what a recatch that was. Another error though is going to be just about Zig at the moment, the team with a second catch, second chance, big lefty backhand arcing over the side, just going to sail too far for either of the blue shirted players on the back of it.
What a brilliant catch there. And that's what I really love about Zig. They always try a second attempt and then get lucky on that quite a lot because they never give up on any discs.
We are starting to see the wind pick up a little bit as well, so it's going to get gusty. Want to be another windy but sunny but chilly day in Canberra. And underground will now see what they can do against this wind. Oh, a bit of a face catch there for Daisy Wang. Looking out in front, pointing to where she wants to throw the disc in the middle of this sort of cuppy zone. So trying to pile on lots of pressure using the wind as their 8th defender. Oh, bit of a height grab there. Stumbling, catching, but it's working and coming together for underground. Nice big fake opens up the middle space, but just throws at the knees. Evan Lim there. So Zig now eyeing up their first goal of this game. Nice pass out in front, easy lefty catch for Dunnell. Good switching on the defense. Cheeky scooper over the top and it comes off. Oh, what swagger. Love a bit of that.
What a way to get on the board there with the cheeky scooper. I gotta guess that was a bit of a bailout high stall count throw, but beautifully executed by Zig. And we've seen them coming out on defense in a zoney look in a 4-person cup, putting loads of pressures on the handlers and just waiting for that miscommunication, as we saw that there before, and then just the score again there. And you've mentioned the spacing. I think they did a really good job this point, Zig that is, with giving each other space and moving the defenders away.
You can see here she gets caught face marking. That's where that scuba then comes from. A bit more of an indoorsy throw from the bronze medalist from the under-24s in Perth. Confident player, the captain, Michaela Dunmore. But I do love a bit of spice. I'm a true indoor player, Christina. So I should always
I remember, honey.
Overheads and upside downs outside as well as inside.
Well, I'm actually just the biggest scuba fan. I love playing that as a reset duo too. So yeah, I can only agree with you. Sometimes indoors can just teach you a lot and be adapted to the outdoors feel as well.
Always love to see women out on the field using creative throws. So underground now looking to respond and keep their 2-point lead over Zig Theory. Looking up the sideline for a really long time. Just going to put out into space that reset around, and a nice little sliding catch there from Matilda Needle. backing up her teammate on that shot. Great defense, smothering from Zig, making real high stall count options for Underground. A little jink in front, has a space and separation to the break side, puts it out, and it's a layout goal. No! Oh, what a shame. That was a bit hasty and a bit flustered, but that would have been glorious had that come off.
We saw great flow over the break side from Underground there.
Opportunistic flow cutting from Needle. Nearly made the hero himself. So Zig getting it underway, low scooping past, hot pressure from the defense. Fakes the overhead. Creative choices worked out for them well so far. Blown coverage, but a blown catch from Rosler. Looks like big boom straight away to respond from Underground. But a great attack knocked out of the air by Grace Andrews.
Beautiful poke just into it, like heads up play from the defender there.
So Zig, opportunity to level it up. Comes out, pops out like a piece of toast and recovered beautifully. Wind's starting to really pick up, as you can hear on our pitch mics, and it just takes away some of the loft on the throw. It doesn't quite make the waiting hands. Let's have another look at that rundown from Andrews. And a gift from Underground on an errant throw, looking for Needles.
We might actually have jinxed that weather conditions.
We knew it was coming. The weekend never changes that much. But again, just the wind taking away the length of these Zig Theory throws. Just a little bit too much roll curve on that backhand. So Downey marshalling the offense, takes the central reset. Not much continuation from the upfield, things looking a little bit static. Gonna have to go for that. Just turn up line and a hand block for Zig Theory. Lack of upfield cuts, really just making the handler have to dial in exactly what she wants to throw. Just keep popping up for these Zig Theory throws, and a little palm in the mixer from Downey, I think that is. Gets the disc back after her error, and a big flick cut, lovely and flat, but scooped out of the air by Zig. Continuation down that far sideline, lovely stuff. Andrews now holstering, looking around for the swings. Also going to work. Beautiful stretch on the sideline, has separation in the end zone, chooses to holster, be more conservative, and then throws immediately out of the pitch.
Just released that disc a bit too early, but lovely flow from the Zig side up until that last throw, using the width of the field as well as the depth.
So Underground now pinned on that far side. Downey tries, but in vain. Rosa picks up, looks for a teammate with separation in front, has it just about squeezed in, and that is leveled up. Zig Theory take their second point in this semi-final game.
They got a bit lucky there with that centering pass not connecting for Underground, but well executed on the Zig side. You can see that brilliant hand block once again.
Rosa, yeah. We had the same thought there, Christina, on our little lag. Also, if that is the Anna Rosler, I think it is, then hello, friend. I need to get a better look on one of these replays, but I think we played together on a tournament, well, a little tournament called Windmill Windup many, many moons ago. Lovely, lovely human being. In fact, gets a couple of the shout-outs from the question we asked from these teams ahead of the game, which was, who is your favourite teammate and why? So Rosler's a super reliable and smart player on the field. And that shout comes from her teammate Jackie, number 10. Jackie Chong. A lot of love in these player surveys, I have to say. Anything caught your eye, Christina?
Well, I've mainly looked at age and experience, and there's quite a width of experience, and I love that some world level players connect with rookies and form a team that performs that well, or both teams actually.
Well, that is one of the beautiful things about this Division 2 action, to seeing some of the future stars as well as class stars, but an errant throw there. Wang tries the best to claw that one out of the air, but just into the ground. And we see again this sort of poachy zone style look from underground. Once Dig Theory are away, and behind that front line, Dunn will go for the big hammer fake. I love a good lefty hammer. Throws and goes, follows the pass through, moves all of the defense with her. Nice resetting, good patience here from Zig as they look to take a break and go ahead for the first time in this match. A bit too much hoop, but that is the front corner of the end zone. A laser of a flick, and that is Zig in front for the first time, 3-2.
Yeah, we're back on with Zig up a point, and I really loved the way they played out that offense, going from one cone to the other, just running down their defense and underground with this 1-3-3 setup, just able to contain them for quite a while actually, but in the end Zig found a beautiful hole there on the side.
Yeah, Serena Lin there with the goal, having played for 2 years. This is her first national, so it's nice to see her getting on the stats. In fact, I think she put on her, I think this is her first ever tournament. So, welcome Serena. Oh, Ben Powley, you saucy man. loving the sideline action here, the support. They've gone all shy now. Shake what your mama gave you, boys. Shake it. Pi, actually from my own home nation, used to play for Plymouth Picnic. I forget exactly which of the Down Under teams he's playing for at these national finals championships, but always nice to see plenty of support on the sideline for these teams. To say gunning for the final later this afternoon. So Christina, if you are one of the coaches for this side, and speaking of coaches, we've got Will Christopherson and Karen Hatch for Zig Theory. And I've lost my note for Underground, but we'll get that information to you. So what are you going to be saying to Zig Theory in this timeout?
I think they're on a roll right now. They've recovered very well from their from being down 2 points, scored the last few points in a row, and I think just ride on that wave, just do whatever like they did to get those last 3 points, and just put pressure on, and maybe watch the wind a bit, because that has been picking up, and just be careful and keep in the back of your head that there's wind.
It is definitely, though, a relief to see not quite the howling conditions we saw yesterday, which made things very, very difficult for anyone going to this upwind side that is the right-hand side of the pitch on our pole cam. So we see Kristoffersson there giving some last-minute pieces of advice to his side. And actually, I believe the underground side is formally coachless, but does have a couple extra hands at the helm in terms of the team size. 2 more than Zig Theory have. So I think there's 18 players for Zig, whereas 20 for underground, which is it's good to have for a 3-day tournament. You want lots of legs to carry you all the way to the last game.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when you had a tournament-free period for quite some time. It's always good to bring extra legs.
And it definitely has been a challenge of not being able to play Ultimate and then suddenly having to come out and play at the national level. And I think that is the right Anna. Hi Anna, it's nice to see you. So, can Underground respond and bring us back level? Will be keeping us on serve if they do. So we see Captain Downey once again picking up the disc and getting things in play. Needing to use the round reset. But great undercut there from Howard. Oh, hot pressure and defense just takes the focus away. Oh, but then a Zig error scooped up by Isabella Howard. She's going to launch it way far out on that far sideline. Looking for Jessica Lowry again, but just not quite connecting. Too much zoom.
Yeah, just a bit of an overthrow in these conditions. Gives the disc back to Zig.
Oh, but boom goes the dynamite. Kate Bailey launching herself through that disc, smacking it down to the floor and giving a very short field for her team to work with. Red zone offense here. Goes to the break and tipped to the turf by Anna Rosler.
Bit of a risky shot down the middle. Well covered by the defender as well. Might have been a high stall situation.
Certainly very long arms as she goes through to that central point. A little bit out in front and just a tight angle on the cut there. Doesn't mean that V-Tran can't get to it. And a half field for Underground to go big. Separation up deep. And that is a lovely goal there for Underground to keep us on serve. Downey finding, I think again, Kate Bailey in the end zone.
Yeah, that was a beautiful put, and what we can see from both teams now that their offense is very clinical and focusing on the basics, cutting, and that works out very well for both sides, especially when they're playing matchup defense. What both teams have done this point.
If you have a look sneakily, the way that Bailey sets up her cut there, just sort of casually sneakies her way around the back of that stack and then just launches herself out at a really beautiful angle there. This defender, very little opportunity to make a play on the disc. So on serve here, Underground 3 to Ziggs. So we're now back on serve. Both teams seem to be showing some pretty competent ultimate here, Christina. It was a little bit shaky in the first point, lots of turns, but it seems both sides have cleaned things up pretty well.
Yeah, it's definitely high level, both on offense and defense. They seem to have a great game plan as well.
So once more into the floor. Evan Lim there with the pull again. I think the captains of this underground side, both pretty big shot handlers, big arms. And we'll see an underground zone once more. Oh, nearly bounced out by their own crotch. Oh, and that's a really lovely break to swing to the centre of the field. Quite continuation all the way across. Has the options available. Really digging these backhand breaks for Zig Theory. As continues through. I want to throw the frisbee over there, and she does. Is it going to sit and hang in the right spot though? Oh yes, collected. A chuck it in hope, but of course, who under it other than Michaela Dunmore?
Wouldn't expect anything else. There was a beautiful bit of a risk there, but not a lot of other options. Oh, you can see she really wanted to throw that, and I'm very much familiar with that sentiment of really want to get that throw into that direction. So beautifully executed.
I love the point, yeah. Jackie Chong just saying, I want you to run over there because that's where I'd like to throw it. The silver medalist from the Under-22 Championships back in 2017, putting up an absolute view of a sitter. Apparently also a keen volleyball and bouldering athlete as well. So I think Michaela had to climb a little bit to grab that one out of the air, but a very large statured player, so a useful target.
Yes, she's useful on both sides of the disc. We've seen some great throws coming out of her hands as well.
Well, she does stay on the
muscle from the bouldering.
She kindly filled out for us. Well, with Dunmore, she said she told us ahead of the game that she used to be a deep receiver, but for Zig at this sort of level, she's playing more of a hybrid role, which is always nice to see. People kind of expanding their play sets, because that's what you want to really try and achieve in the game of Ultimate, right? Is to be the threat on both sides, or a pure fly specialist. But I prefer as a defensive matchup. I don't know where to push you. It's what you kind of want to strive for, I suppose. So, underground, looking to try and put us back to 4 apiece. Has an upline cut. Big hustle from Zig, though, just comes in and collects it. Downey trying to give that reset option. Nice high grab from Andrews. Oh, has separation deep. Great boxing there. Nice work from the number 24 shirt of Connor Ammett.
You're really pushing her offensive player to get up early and just going over both of their heads.
Oh, that's a great rundown. Downey keeping eyes on the prize and launches it immediately deep, but just a bit too far for Bailey. Those two really loving this connection. Not always working out, but great rundown.
Yeah, it was great timing on that cut. Using and good use of the power position the handler gotten, but didn't connect on this one.
Well, this is where that one fewer game that Zig Theory has had to play will start to perhaps pay off. Slightly fresher legs than their opponents by virtue of having topped their pool and advanced straight into this semi-final matchup. Nice hard work, grinding through a Zig. Big launch through Alpha, lays out, but just bounces out of her outstretched arms. Gets straight back
Beautiful
up,
effort
bounces
there.
out of the turf. Stifling defense there from Zig. back in action after an uncontested marking infraction. Big high release backhand, just enough from the fingertips of Tran. 2 Trans actually on this Zig Theory team. Number 36 there is 2 Tran. I don't think they've put anything of indicating a familial relationship. Looking for the inside on the upfield, going to go for the round. Desperately hard work from the handlers, trying to get free. Bit of a chuck in and hope. Rosa underneath it. Well received on the goal line, knocking on the door of their next point. And now Zig Theory stretch their lead to 2.
They managed to get an upwind break. Got a bit lucky on that outside shot, but a beautiful read. And taking her time as well, not pushing for the first option, but waiting until a very open player presents herself in the end zone.
Great body work there from Rosa, just keeping her eyes on the disc and sort of taking a strong position, using the height well, knowing she can catch it pretty high in the air, and just shuts out Isabella Howard. And so a timeout called. One suspects this must be Underground wanting to have a break and a little chit chat.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, because getting broken upwind just often results in a second break. Oh, look at that! I didn't even catch up before. Deflected but caught by the receiver.
It's a game of frisbee pinball. You can hear how pumped Zig Theory are. That must be Coach Will Christopherson calling the line for this team in the, I'm going to call that sky blue, Christina?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I really love the jerseys. I like the slight pattern in the middle.
Indeed, we'll have to see if we, if Zig Theory do advance to the finals, we'll have to see if we can find out a little bit more about what their name is. But we have some facts, a little bit about the history of Underground, Christina.
Oh yeah, we do. Underground is formed by university players. I believe it's they started training at the end of last year, so probably when Australia started permitting ultimate trainings again. So they're new to nationals this year, and they're from Canberra. Local team here.
Indeed, and we look out for Evan Lim. Indeed, we've already mentioned her a couple times. One of the players with the big sort of backhand pulls from to the upwind, and she's actually represented Malaysia in her career. It's pretty exciting. But Zig now getting ready to pull, launching themselves into what they will hope to be their 6th goal in this game, but will be Underground's opportunity first to try and claw one back, as we see a very big cup, a zone look from Zig Theory. But good working from the players in black. Downey puts a big arcing flick, it's going to sit and hang, but plenty of one. Do like that reset across out into the space. Nice fade down. Shame that the next pass didn't quite work out, but good run down by Lim. So a big put to get Zig off to go. Well defended by Grace Spratt. Nicknamed Sprout. Growing out of the ground to get that block. The disc will sit and hang for an absolute aeon. Dunmore making an acrobat of herself there. I love the pop-up from that one.
Yeah, getting right back up and running off to the deep space.
Immediately coming, attacking the disc, putting a big backhand to sit directly into Lim's hands. But again, Lim making a nice grab and then a bit of a miscue on the next throw. Looks for Sprout, can't quite catch her. Sprout having spent some time in Sweden recently, therefore unable to play Ultimate. We're back in Oz. Nice low catch. Zig and a block on the way through. Hot defense. Ferguson surveying the options. Punches through to Lim. Oh, an errant rolly inside flick. There is a call upfield. It should be a foul. Lim catching a little bit too much of Rosler, perhaps.
Looks to be an injury, maybe.
Well, that would be a big loss for Underground if Lim has to retire from the field to recover from maybe a twisted little ankle underneath herself there. She seems to be able to put weight on it though, so that's promising. Always good to keep. Top tip for anyone that rolls their ankle or has a trauma to any of the kind of end of the limb. If you can put weight on it and you can walk around on it gently, recommend doing so if your pain's not too intense, because if you completely stop, your body will send loads of blood flow and it will swell up.
Play will stand anyway, and Zig with a quick opportunity.
That's a big hand block though. Denied right out of the blocks. The Lim staying on the field. Let's see Ferguson now. Wanting for options, put outs in front, and a great run down. Looks to be Vitran, making sure that one gets denied. Immediate shot and absolutely blown coverage. I'm not sure who was supposed to be marking Donald. I suspect Lim, but capitalises on the opportunity and punches another in to extend the lead.
Bit of a miscommunication there for sure. But Zig putting a lot of pressure on defense with that 4-person cup. Not leaving too many options for Underground to take on, and heads up play from Zig's theory for sure. And as I predicted before, there's often a second break down the wind after getting an upwind break, and now Zig Theory is up by 3 points.
Indeed, half an hour left almost in this game of regulation time, so still the opportunity for Underground to claw their way back into this match, having gone of course up initially against Zig Theory, but they've warmed up, although looking at the body language from the players, it might look like it's warmer in Australia than it actually is. It is chilly as it gets, especially with this wind there. Nice view of Serena Lim with the crossed arms. Have you ever noticed, Christina, how the look of someone who's annoyed, especially girls, it's the same look we get when we're cold?
Haven't noticed, but it makes sense. I'm never actually delighted when I'm cold, so just might be the same sentiment or expression, at least in my face.
So Underground now on the sunny side of the field. putting it together. But what a huge block for Zig Theory. I think that might have been done more, but can't quite see on our squinty camera view, but what a play to get the disc back as we get to close out this first half. Getting a bit lucky on the goal line, puts it up. Is that going to sit and be taken away? Great work. Rogers just making sure that that one didn't get closed out. Has the upline available. Good switching from Zig, but still lets it through. Good attacking up the line. Downey now charging through. Has the continuation on the wing. Hops back. Working it nicely, just squeezing it through that very thin channel. Another one wobbly. The Downey makes good work of it, chucks it up. That's going to sit and hang almost up on the defense, but great composure. Kate Bailey reels in another for the Stats Sword.
They're just jumping over the defense, getting a bit of a better read. Some shaky options, but all of them connect.
A nice attempt there from Dunnell to make the play. To watch this second replay, does well to avoid any contact at all, but great positioning for Bailey. To say it's important to stay warm out here on the fields. Nice bobble hat and fluffy blanket. I'm currently sat on a similarly fluffy blanket here in our commentary booth, i.e. my lounge. It's been one of the few delights and pleasures actually of being trapped indoors, Christina. I don't know if you've also taken to the fluffy everything like I have.
Oh yeah, I have DIY knitted socks that I made during lockdown, and some sweats and a hoodie as well because it's rather cold here. You know, it snowed in Vienna last week, in April.
It snowed here.
So we're just still recovering from that.
Britain. It's been, we had every single season the other day. Also, shout out to the doggo appearing again in that back sideline. Really enjoying its little, it's got a little jacket on, a little pink fuchsia type colour. So watch out for that later today. So Zig Theory once more with disc in hand, being pinned on that sideline, but a wicked force. Grace Spratt making sure that they get the disc back to her. Lim immediately ripping a lovely flat backhand, but doesn't quite have Sprout underneath it.
Opting for that fast play. Couldn't connect.
So, again, being pushed on that far sideline with Sprout on the mark. Throws that nice slice through the middle. Crockett, Mainey with the disc. Resets back. Nice flow. Good rundown, keeps the eyes on the disc. Andrews now. Good spacing here from Zig. And Underground happy to give that yard or so reset if they need to. Oh, big zesty biscuit, but not quite the attack enough from Andrews. Lim coming in and snaffling it instead. Deep shots available for Underground. Lim with a little bit of a close reset up that line, starts her cut. A little bit too near to the handler. Downey now puts up a rolly one into the waiting arms of Sprout. Boosts a big flick. Oh, and just not quite far enough. Penny Fung there stretches out the left arm, but doesn't quite connect with the disc. Rosebert puts up a sitter that's going to be slapped down by Grace Downey.
There's loads happening on the field right now.
Oh, what a hand block that was! Absolute denial. Bosh. So Zig Theory, half the field to go. Smoothly working it around the back. Downey really trying to get involved in the centre of that cup. See if she can use an errant palm to just get a piece. Nice little pop. Big floaty sitter of a reset. Rosler underneath it though. Good body position, commanding, but just zooms out in front of her intended target.
Beautiful read there, but just overshooting her receiver just a tiny bit.
Shout out to Danielle on the YouTube chat, giving lots of love. Shouting out amazing work for Grace. Oh, what a snag for Anna Rosler, coming in strong. There for the pop for the goal, and that's 7-4 now to Zig Theory.
Good, great fast break there. Just losing no time and taking that momentum of the defense being a bit confused, not set up yet. So you can see that run through. Again, Rosler from behind our screen actually coming back into the space to get that disc to the ground, and a bookends there. She grabs the goal as well.
So if you are with us on this live stream, YouTube for Ultimate Australia, do give us a shout in the comments. Tell us where you are watching in from. We want to hear from you. It's a truly global Ultimate stream here because of the magic of the internet. So potentially the last point of this first half. Games, of course, being played here in Canberra to 15-point cap. 80 minutes of regulation time with probably one of the most elongated hooters I've ever heard, Christina.
Elongated, I think you have to explain that to me.
Oh, apologies. Flowery language over here. It's just very, they're really giving it some, you know. When we get to about 80 minutes, you'll hear a very long klaxon. Normally you get sort of, you know, short blast, like a pip-pip. Whereas this is just like, they just sit on the button for about, you know, a good 30 seconds. Just to make sure that everybody knows that time has expired. So that's often a challenge.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. But it's really important to know when time has expired, otherwise there's going to be some confusions, and, you know, really don't want that.
Oh, getting up in the mix for that. The face. Deb there, I think, just catching a little bit of that one. Nice work. Deborah Lee, and a big ripper of a lefty backhand up this near sideline. Oh, and miscommunication perhaps between the players. Thought that might have been for Rosie Foley, but overshoots her. Actually, just couldn't quite make the grab.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. D'ing her own player there.
One of the things that makes Michaela Dunmore the big threat, though, is this lefty handler position that she can play, especially when the earlier tournament we saw them play against Tempest really use those to lethal effect. So Jess Dowry, oh, what a recatch from Isabella Howard. hat goes flying to the floor. Nice big over the top backhand. Really lovely stuff, but just a little bit behind the legs of Jess Lowry even.
Unfortunate, because they beautifully broke through the cup. But now back to Sig Theory.
That big backhand again. Oh, that is very, very pretty indeed. Just snagged, but out of bounds. Sat for a little bit too long.
That's unfortunate. Just probably didn't think the end zone was out. It was ending already. Just happy to get that disc in her hands.
Well, Serena Lim doing the right thing there. You've got to catch the frisbee first, and it does hurt when you make those sort of, you know, ballerina tiptoe a la point ones where you've grabbed the disc and you're just using your tiptoes to keep the disc in bounds. Really hurts when you plant down like that. But nice over the tops from underground against this Sig Theory zone, trying to keep this first half alive. A couple more points longer. Oh, and what a fiery play, slicing through Penny Fung.
That cup really working great for Sig Theory, putting pressure on the handlers and the quick resets.
Oh, and easy does it. Nice play to the front cone. I misspoke a moment ago. It was Jackie Chong with that run through D to Zig. But another point on the board, and that is half. 8-4 to Zig Theory.
Beautiful last offensive point there from Zig. Close up that first half.
You watch the setup of this cut actually. It's nice to just you have the burn up the line and the turn, and then just sneaks past the defender. Does Serena Lim collect that goal? So I think we've certainly had a battle of this first half, Christina. Obviously, we've had nearly 64 minutes to expire so far out of the 80 regulation time. So not that much time running out now for Underground. But what are your thoughts on this first half we've seen?
I think we've seen great parts and great plays from both sides. Definitely very evenly matched in terms of good plays, but a bit of more composure on the Sig Theory side, and Underground being a new team, just still getting the grooving in, you know, and maybe lacking a bit of experience at point, and to keep calm in some situations, but both of them show great potential, and I think it's the points a very evenly matched game, although the score is rather uneven.
It's a bit one-sided. At the moment.
One-sided, yeah.
Well, we saw Underground come out of the blocks pretty well, and it has just been a case of, I think, just figuring each other out. I've been really enjoying the active marks from both sides and the run through Ds. It's been a real credit to both sides as to how much this game hasn't necessarily been all about unforced errors. There have been some, there have been some throws maybe a little bit behind, or some throws. There was one that I think went directly almost into the face, it seemed like, of one of the Sig Theory defenders, which was that's going to leave a bruise for tomorrow. But, glory on nothing, right? What's the point in playing a weekend of Ultimate if you don't have a nice bruise and your colleagues go, what on earth is that? But I think Zig have just, they're studying Underground. They're taking away some of the options that they want with their bodies. But in terms of standout players so far, for me, I think on Underground, Kate Bailey's having a brilliant game. in terms of her receptions. Clearly a favoured target for this underground side. Has anyone on Zig particularly impressed you, Christina?
Well, Denbury for sure. As we can see, one of her highlight plays, that grab just towering over everybody else. Also, player with the number 6 shirt. You can see some highlights from her side here. She's also done, yeah, exactly, Resla. She's had a great game so far, both behind the disc and getting offensive and defensive plays. So those might be my 2 favorites on the 6 Theory side.
So for balance, we ought to choose another player for underground. So I'll let you do that, Christina. Who else has impressed you in terms of this Canberra side?
Maybe Sprout, because she's done a very good job defensively, containing Danbury and Dressler at times.
She has indeed. Grace Spratt, the number 17, taking out some pretty difficult matchups in this women's semi-final. Of course, both teams gunning for it. Later today, we'll see those slots, but it is finals day. The excitement is high here on the fields in Canberra for these Australian Ultimate Championships 2021. Glad to be back playing some Ultimate here. And of course, coverage brought to you all day by the wonderful Ulti.tv crew. Zig Theory fan tuning in from the States in California, USA, cheering on her sister, the Coloradan Grace Andrews. So hello from her sister Claire, and hello to you, Claire. And also Shane Young here, tuning in early morning in Singapore. So truly a global Ultimate audience. If you want a shout out of your own, do please jump into the comments on the YouTube stream. So Christina, as we come back into the second half of this game with 10 minutes left of regulation time, what do you want to see differently from Underground?
I'm not actually sure. Maybe just chill a little bit, but I've been pretty impressed with their performance so far. I think they can fight a little bit more for discs at points, just be a little more dominant when on one-on-one condition, like one-on-one plays. But overall, I think they did a very good job.
Yes, indeed. It ain't over till it's over here, folks. Still 10 minutes left to play. And then, of course, once we get to 80 minutes expired here in Canberra, there will be a point cap. Zig will be hard to shut down unless Underground can punch a few in. But we will see what happens. We see Dunnell there raising her arm, signaling ready for the pull. And we are back to it. So getting us underway is Lim. Looking around, zone again from Zig Theory. On a miscue, just a little bit too far for Ferguson. And a short field opportunity into the wind for Zig Theory. See if they can punch another one. Oh, that is a beautiful backhand, but just a little bit too casual. Redeems herself. Michaela Dunwell. Looking for Rosler, punches it straight through the letterbox, posts the goal, a 9-4, stretching the lead to 5. But you can see a little rub on the tummy there for Michaela Dunnell, having been a bit too casual with the first attempt on that grab.
What a play. Look at that. She decided in a split second that she had to lay out for that disc on that second attempt. That is some prime play here.
We're also getting some more sibling action on our live stream. Hello to Charlotte Lim, cheering her sister Serena. Says go Zig. Great to have you with us, Charlotte. So Zig extend their lead now to 9-4. Starting to really close out and show the class that they've been just demonstrating all tournament long, having not taken a single loss, with a very impressive points difference of plus 54. Only obviously now 19, but only 19 goals scored against them the whole tournament long so far, Christina.
That is very impressive, especially with that big of a difference. Yeah. They're very composed. They just seem to, just be a notch above everybody else.
The Underground now really need to respond with an offensive hold here, going against this blustering breeze and the zone of Zig Theory. Nice swinging across Bailey, working in the handler space as well as she has in the downfield all game long. One suspects perhaps Underground loading their line with handlers because of the wind, but just tumbling past the back of Lowry. And Zig once more looking for an opportunity. Big flick arc across the side, well scooped up. I think that was Andrews underneath it. And a big bomb into the back corner of the end zone, and that is another goal for Zig Theory. And they are delighted, rightly so.
Yeah, it looks like Zig Theory is running away with it a bit after that upwind break, getting another one downwind as well. And that was just a bit of luck there on that first pass, but reels it in and then immediately continues to the open side and just gets into the zone there.
We do seem to be seeing both teams now loading their lines with familiar faces. I feel like I'm really getting to intimately know most of the players that are currently on the field, but in a good way, in a nice way. It's pretty beautiful to see them bringing out some great defense and offense. Although I think our scoreboard is a little bit behind. Zig Theory, I think, have a 6-point lead. But certainly Underground needs to find some finesse. They've got the wind behind them for this point. Dunmore there preparing for the pull. One of the captain of the Sig Theory side. And they're running down then. Eyes on the prize, 4 minutes left in this women's semi-final. Winner advancing, of course. I'm not sure against who. I suspect it might well be Hills of Castle Hills in the Sydney area. Sprout there, near side. Pops it forward. Is available for the reset again. Enjoying the yellow necky game Sprout's got going on with a visor. Oh, dish over the top. Little bit speculative, just shucking it towards Miriam Downey. A little bit loose there.
She didn't have a lot of other options though.
No, she did not. Definitely not. Hot pressure from Zig's zone. Yells coming from the sideline. Where are the cuts? And she's right. Zig do look a little bit static. Maybe starting to feel it in the legs now. Big deep shot available. What an absolute sitter of a backhand. That was gorgeous stuff. Zig just threading the perfect offense into the far side.
What a beautiful connection there. Now you can see Zig really on a row here, punching in point after point, and you know, you don't need many cuts if they're perfectly timed, and as this one was. The throw sits perfectly for the receiver to run under it, and
that's a lovely, lovely backhand. Just really extends out, gets nice and low, throwing into the wind. It's like a, with the blue shirt,
that's very important, of course.
Waterfall of players. Getting some sisterly love here on the line stream. Some all caps, nice assist, Grace. Claire's impressed, Grace. Just when you watch this back, because players always do. And another shot there of the Adelaide sideline, it looks like. So just over a minute left until time cap is applied in this game. As we see Zig preparing the pull, Alice C, one of the captains, alongside Dunmore. They've been repping all game long. Nice high grab from Lim. Oh, and a hand block denied by the number one, Grace Andrews. But a lot of duty in the late stages of this game. And strident now, up to the disc. I think that's Sharvina Chong. Can't quite see the number, but that is an easy goal, streaking across the front of the end zone. And that is double happiness there for Grace Andrews.
Yeah, bookends for Andrews, and she did a really good job on that mark. I think she's got more than just one hand block in that game. I think you've mentioned that before, that Zig's marks are very aggressive and very active, doing a great job there to go around, make sure that disc doesn't get to the receiver.
And we heard that long, flat hooter as Alice C punches in that goal. Ponytail flowing off over the back of the shirt, so I couldn't quite see which number she was, but I'm pretty certain, Christina, that Underground have been shut out of this game. I mean, certainly this half. They haven't scored this half. It has been a really long time since we've seen Underground get any action in the end zone. And it just seems like Zig have just completely just got them covered. They figured them out.
Yeah, exactly. You can see Zig Theory's class there just being very patient, executing well, getting point after point. Now in the second half, they seem to have cleaned it up. So it's a game to 13, I believe.
Tis indeed, Christina. Will we get any more juice out of this fruity game? As we get more love for Grace on the comments. Danielle says, Grace, you are a D machine with big love heart. Glad to have all of you with us watching on the stream this morning. And can Zig close us out with an upwind point? We will see. Lim picking up, looking on, threatening with a deep shot, but chooses Ferguson instead. No need to rush it here. Daisy Wang punches into Lim. Oh, and there comes the big shot. Can it be boxed out? It can indeed. Just getting on the front shoulder of Yunzong. Denying that deep shot.
It's a beautiful put, but just not quick enough, probably. Not enough separation from the underground player.
I don't know, Dunwall did a great job with her boxing and body position to just deny it. Oh, and the defender collides with it. Sprout just making sure. So this will come back in play. I think it was going to sail back inbounds anyway. But even just going to pop it up. Oh, and a little collision there. Hopefully both players are okay.
Players only having eyes for the disc and...
Good use of hand signals
He
there.
decided
So it is turnover.
Yeah, exactly.
So Zig Theory with another chance to close this one out here and punch their ticket for the final. Lots of flowing undercuts. Going to need to find something soon. Stall count getting a little bit high. Doesn't look for the resets. Chooses a sneaky inside. Lovely break. Lim. Oh, and a big punch up that far sideline. Luck be a lady for Zig Theory today, and that is game. A bubble catch to finish us out. Probably a sigh of relief there. Rosie Foley gets the goal for Zig Theory, and they will be in the final. Commiserations to Underground being held off for such a long time, but the luck just seemed to be in Zig's camp today.
Yeah, you can really call that lucky. Seems to have worked out pretty great. What an exciting last offense there. Bubble caught twice in a row. Zig really deserves that place in the final later today. This still seems to be a discussion.
We seem to be playing on here. I'm not sure why, but I suppose if we we might be thinking incorrectly here, Christina. So I suppose if the hooter went off during that point,
but then it would be at the end of the point, add 1 to the current score.
Oh, who knows? Maybe
there might be a different.
Are a little bit longer.
Yeah, exactly. That was my thought.
Please bear with us, dear viewers. We have we're currently broadcasting from the other side, literally the other side of the world. Myself here in the UK, Christina in Vienna, and so we're a bit like everyone is probably experiencing as we all stay in our homes and far away from each other, more or less, apart from those lucky island nations down under who get to go out. I was actually speaking, Christina, to a friend of mine, Tom Fraser, who's a coach over in New Zealand, who was complaining of a hangover and saying he was in a Korean restaurant feeling sorry for himself. And I said, I haven't been to a restaurant in almost a year, so he should count himself lucky.
Yeah, I don't pity him. Like,
it's promising though to see how life is normalizing again. You know, after the COVID pandemic and most places going under lockdown.
Yeah, it really is. But I've heard GB is doing rather well, aren't they? Like, there's speak of return to normality rather soon, right?
Oh, I don't know. It's going to be a while before normalcy. People always forget you can still get COVID with the vaccine. You can still transmit it if you have it. So, but we'll think less on that and think more on the closing stages of this game. An unfortunate error there for Underground gives Zig a short opportunity to do it again and finish out this game, perhaps. But can we get a block? Nice scooping lefty grab from Dunmore. Punches it in, and the sliding knee catch. A little bit more finesse than the last one. I'd be happier to end this game on that point. You do make your own luck though, and Zig have been playing classy ultimate today. Let's have another look at that final goal from Jackie Chong with the assist. Actually, the hockey assist, setting up Dunmore.
Beautiful lefty grab, as you've already said. They've really cleaned up their offense. And as I said before, very deserving to be in that final later today.
Yeah, true class from Zig Theory. Shut out Underground the entirety of this second half. Congrats to both teams though. Pat yourselves on the back, Underground. A new team basically going against the odds, having been second from bottom seed in Pool B to advance into these semi-finals. Well done. But stay tuned to the stream. We've got finals and semi-finals action here all day with you. This Ulti TV crew working hard out on the fields here in Canberra.